So we have Ben Jurek on the right-hand side. He's our Dragon Stompy player, and Nathan Calvin on the left-hand side, and he is our Grove Naya player.
They look pretty nervous.
Yeah, this is a big match. I mean, they're playing for a top 8 potential big payday. Some more matches under the camera, so some jitters are to be expected. So a question that I have while we're waiting for this for the match to get started here is, like, I see you guys at shows all the time, and I know that you work in sort of the main office in Roanoke, the main store. Mm-hmm. What is like your average regular work week look like? Like, what are you actually doing inside the physical store when you're not like on the road or at these events?
We just party all the time. No, it's a really fun group of people to work with. Just a lot of dealing with Magic cards, pricing, stuff like that.
Sure.
Like I don't know. I don't really know how to compare it to anyone else's job. Like,
right.
It's just it's its own thing. It's a really, really fun place to work with. Star City is an awesome company.
I believe it. Yeah. So is it more like, do you guys spend time sitting around sort of like projecting, we anticipate this card's going to become more popular in the ensuing months?
No. A lot of it is just like grading cards, just figuring out what condition cards are in.
Oh,
stuff
okay.
Like that.
Sure.
That's one of our big roles, and then.
So do you guys have like an internal Bible on that kind of stuff, or is it pretty like subjective, like one person, people argue over it and that kind of stuff?
It's subjective. We definitely have some arguments here and there about the condition of cards, but it's fun. Yeah,
certainly for like a lot of the older stuff, like the alpha and beta stuff, especially, like those grades are often like hundreds of dollars of differences in value.
Yeah.
So it's
we were actually talking about that yesterday. Like, the near mint stuff just doesn't exist for the older cards. Yeah. So I mean, you come in and you really want a card to be near mint, but you just don't want to sell it at that, just because if it's not up to the standards, we try to hold it to a pretty high standard.
Yeah. But, no, I got an unlimited Sapphire from you guys years ago, and that thing looked like it had just come out of a pack. Yeah. One of the near mint one. So it looks like we're underway here. The Dragon Stompy player, not an explosive opening, just starting with a mountain and a ship.
Hopefully we'll see something really neat on turn 2. There's so many things that this deck can do.
There's so many powerful openings.
Trinisphere is a beating against a lot of decks. Chalice of the Void is really good. Yeah, and Blood Moon Effect is really good in this format. Right,
and because like 3 mana is a really significant flashpoint for this deck, because that's where you have Trinisphere and the Blood Moon effects to come into play, and you have City Traders and Ancient Tomb and Chrome Mox and Simian Sphere Guide that can theoretically enable that sort of draw.
Yeah. Recently I played the Imperial Recruiter Painter Grind deck.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much just like Dragon Stompy, but you take out all the dragons and you throw in Painter Sherbet and Grindstone, and you win so many games by just sticking a Blood Moon and then beating them to death with the Simian Sphere Guide.
Ben Jurek has revealed his archetype here with a Chrome Mox pitching an Arc Slogger. Pitching a Simian Spirit Guide.
We got a 3-drop coming down.
And this looks like Magus of the Moon. So this might just be... well, actually, Magus of the Moon is is the easier one to get out of, because Punishing Fire lets him just kill it straight away, because now his Savannah's generating red mana.
Right.
It's the Blood Moon that's much more challenging for him to get out of. So let's see if he has a Punishing Fire here.
Didn't really look like he had one in his hand. And then
hold up.
Oh, nope, not today. That doesn't do that. That was a good catch before he got too far.
He looks like he has some red card in his hand. I don't know if it's Punishing Fire or something else, but
having that Mother on board was actually really good.
Yeah, it gives him a ton of time.
Yeah, the Magus isn't too much of a clock right now. Another 3-drop, and it's a morph. Yes.
What could it be?
I like to point out that he's using the Star City Games Dragon Sleeves for the Dragon Stompy deck. I like this guy already.
Style counts for a lot.
Yes, it does. Speaking of style, I've seen you play Mono Red before, and you have all Arabian Nights Mountains, don't you?
Yeah, it's taken a little while to get it all up to snuff. Like, I'm up to like 24 now, so I'm pretty well settled.
Those
for most
things are baller.
Yeah. I'm trying to upgrade to Summer over time, but I mean, it's obviously
those things
some ways down the line, you know.
Yeah, we recently put Summer Magic on our website for sale, and that stuff, it's so hard to find.
Yeah, it's actually probably, I mean, it might be, okay, so the Mother Runes just look like it just chump blocked the morph there. for some of our viewers here, you might want to explain what that is, because I think a lot of them actually, a lot of the stuff is so rare that, or the Summer Magic cards in general are so rare that a lot of people actually don't even know what it really is.
Yeah, Summer Magic is a like a misprinted set. It was wasn't. It was originally supposed to be released.
So the Gathan Raider is being unmorphed here for an extra point.
We'll go back to the Summer Magic during the
during
the sideboarding stuff.
So yeah, it looks like, as predicted, Nathan is just getting completely destroyed by Magus of the Moon.
I'm not so sure why that mother ran under the bus there. I feel like he could have saved it. I mean, he doesn't know what that morph is. Could have been really scary for him.
He chump blocked with the Mother Runes last turn, and so there's either he didn't understand that the morph is actually a colorless creature, or he was afraid of what it could potentially be.
Yeah. That's a really weird thing about this deck. You just have no idea what you're going to be playing against, and so somebody goes turn 1 Magus to the Moon, you're like, uh-oh, I don't know what's in this deck, and then they play a morph, and you're definitely, if you haven't seen this deck before, you're not expecting Gathan Raiders to be underneath that card.
Yeah, and he's just conceding. He is just under lock. So getting back to Summer Magic, I guess you should probably explain for a lot of the viewers what that stuff actually is.
It's a misprinted set. It was it's the exact same as Revised. Revised had a lot of issues with it, like the Serendib,
the misprinted Serendib.
Yeah, he had the wrong picture and all that stuff. And
some artist credit on one of the cards.
Plateau.
I think, Plateau. The artist credit was incorrect.
And Summer was supposed to fix a lot of that stuff, and it just ended up having so many issues with it as well. It's got really, really dark coloring to it. One of the only ways you can tell if you don't actually know what a Summer Magic card looks like is it's got illustration plus a 1994 copyright date.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to tell it apart from normal Revised cards.
And they're just super expensive right now. The lands alone are a few $100s.
Yeah,
and they just do not exist. They're so hard to come by.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I'm no expert on this stuff, but my understanding is there's only a couple dozen cases, if that were ever even circulated before WotC pulled the plug on it and destroyed the rest of the run.
Yeah. I always hate guesstimating about that stuff. Ben Blyweiss is a master. So he somehow just happens to know all the stuff that comes out. He's like, oh yeah, there's only 23 of this card in existence. I'm like, I don't even know how you know that, Ben, but he definitely does, and he's definitely done his research.
Yeah.
And so he'd be a better person to get some sort of estimate from that. But I know that I've only seen a handful of cards, and all of them happen to be from Star City.
So how are you enjoying the new writing gig?
It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy writing.
For those of you who don't know, Wes recently got a premium article discussing secondary market type stuff. And
the premium one was actually on Moto Speculation.
Yeah.
And I just got the opportunity to have a weekly column, and I'm trying to find time to write every week, and it's definitely a lot of fun, but being on the road all the time and then having to still work a 40-hour week at the office, it just kind of cuts into it. But Magic is something that's a huge part of my life. It's something I really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And so I'm super stoked to actually to be able to do it.
It's going to be a regular weekly thing, or
I hope that's the goal. I struggled to get an article out this week just from time constraints and traveling. I was in Austin last week, and then now we're in LA. I've got a little bit of time coming up.
Cool.
That should be fun.
So let's take a look at the sideboards over here and see where these players are going to go. For the Dragon Stompy list, doesn't really have a ton of action here. He has a Sword of Body in mind. He may want the one copy of Kazul. I can't claim to actually know for sure what that's there for. It feels like it wouldn't be very good in this matchup, so I believe that he won't bring it in, but it's a possibility. One copy of Pyrokinesis, on the other hand, seems quite good.
Yeah.
He has 2 copies of Volcanic Fallout, which also seem like reasonable additions.
Yes.
If I were in his position boarding, I would probably bring in the Pyrokinesis and the 2 Volcanic Fallouts.
And then on the Naya side over here, Path to Exile seems like a pretty relevant card.
Although you have to be apprehensive about bringing in a bunch of one-casters when, if you know the deck, you know that Chalice for 1 is a likely opening.
Right, yeah. He didn't see a Chalice in the last game or a Trinosphere, so hopefully he's got that to his... The Dragon Stompy deck still has that as a surprise. Other than that, I don't see a ton of things he really wants.
Yep.
He's got a Bazooka Bog, he's got some Graveyard Hate, Life from the Loam, Phyrexian Metamorph, and then other than that, it's Choke's irrelevant, no reds.
Yeah, and another similar feature of this deck to like all the other Maverick decks that I've seen are a couple copies of Enlightened Tutor, and then a variety of bullets in the sideboard that they can go get. So, but nothing really stands out to me as being reasonable here besides the Path of Exiles. So game 2 is underway.
Starting with his basic forest.
Yep, Nathan has learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Yep, got a basic forest.
Noble Hierarch, that's a really good one right here.
Yeah,
too.
that's a good start. Even if even if Ben has some sort of mana denial opening, at least he has a little bit of a way to fight it here.
Yeah. Also looking at the Dragon Stompy list, in the main deck he has no real way to actually kill it other than the Arc Slogger, I guess.
Right. Now he has access to Pyrokinesis and the 2 Fallouts.
Yeah.
I think the problem is with playing Burn in this deck is none of it's really efficient enough except for Lightning Bolt, and you don't want to have a bunch of 1-casters when you're trying to set Chalice on one.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a very strong opening for this deck, is the Hierarch here.
Got a mountain.
So it does look like Ben has Trinisphere in his hand.
He's got Trinisphere and he's got Magus.
Trinisphere is not, neither of these cards are all that exciting right now.
No.
So he's just going to play a mountain and pass and try to set up something bigger, I suppose.
If Nathan makes a strong play here. It looks like a knight. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great opening.
Yeah, it's very good for him.
So a Volcanic Fallout doesn't even get the job done because he has the Misty Rainforest in the graveyard. So this is basically Pyrokinesis or bust.
What card did you just roll?
I do not recognize that card. All right, so City of Traders.
It's got to read it. I can't tell you how many times in a Legacy tournament I read someone else's cards.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, you just have to check to make sure. You're like, does this do what I think it does? I almost wonder if this Castle on the sideboard was just like one of those things where you sit there, you need a 15th card for your sideboard, and your friend's like, haha, play this. And he's like, actually, yeah, I will.
I could see it like my rug deck from the Invitational would have gotten destroyed by that card.
Yeah.
I would have just been basically locked. So
it's got a Mother of Runes. It's looking really good for Nathan right now.
Well, hold up. He can't. Hold up.
Oh,
Back up.
He can't do that. Yeah.
Stop. Can we communicate to the judge real quick? He actually can't cast that Mother of Runes off of the Caracas.
He's got to tap that note. Yep, he's stopping.
Okay, yeah, he's stopping.
Okay,
all right. There we go.
It's so easy to forget about the Madison too.
Obviously, you're just used to your lands working as they are written. So
you play out the turn in your head, and then there's that small little issue in the form of a 2/2.
So this is actually does a lot of work against Noble the Knight of the Reliquary here. There's only the 1 forest in his deck.
Right.
So if he spins the wheel with Knight of the Reliquary, he's basically can only get mountains from here. So the Knight really is, for the time being, kind of shut down. Now, Magus of the Moon has turned his City of Traders into a basic mountain, so now he can just sort of...
Right.
And there's a Trinisphere. Not super impressive, but also doesn't really affect Ben at all, so no reason to not play it.
I feel like we're going to see this Knight turn sideways here pretty soon.
Yeah, this is a really awkward situation for him because he can't really...
He can't get the utility from the Knight just from...
Right, he doesn't have another... Yeah, anything he gets basically is just a mountain, so...
Right. Definitely wants to keep that forest.
Yeah.
It lets him cast almost everything in his deck between that and the Noble, right?
And the mountains he now has, yeah.
Yeah. Comes in with Knight.
Yeah. So that looks like a 4 spot between Exalted and the 3/3.
Oh, can we cast it? There's still mountains. No. It looks like he's trying to cast a Green Sun Zenith.
Well,
so
he can Zenith.
Yeah, he can.
He has his forest.
Well, he started to untap, so I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Green Sun. Yep, it's going for the Green Sun. He's got the Trinisphere. Yep.
Yeah, Green Sun for 3. So what are his targets for 3? It's just another copy of Knight of the Reliquary.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like he's going to get here. Yep. It's a foily Knight too.
It looks like he just drew Phyrexian Revoker, which he apparently has brought in.
He's got Revokers in the main.
Oh, sorry, not Revoker. I'm sorry, Phyrexian Metamorph.
Yeah.
Metamorph.
Yeah.
In the top 8, if you can please bring your deck up.
Plays another mountain. Very expensive mountain.
Yep.
It's so weird being a buyer. I just kind of associate a price tag to every single card that's played. I can't tell you how to play the game right, but I can add up the board really fast.
This is relatively inexpensive for a legacy board on turn 4.
That's true.
Yeah.
One underground sea is kind of
Yeah. What's worth more, the board or an underground sea?
Well, that foil knight's kind of helping there, but
Sure.
if only the mountains were Arabian.
Right. Then we'd be close. I wish I could make out the art on that that red card on the left there.
Yeah. Kind of just like want to run over. Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. What could that be? I'm not going to look at his list.
Maybe it's some like weird all art pyrokinesis or something like that.
I'm not sure if that came. It came in anthologies and alliances, right?
Right.
I'm not sure if it came in another one.
I think it's really hard for Ben to get out of Mother Runes plus attacking creatures.
Is it an alternate art Seething Song?
Maybe.
That came out recently in a new thing. Knights come in.
And this is the problem with the Dragon Stompy deck is there's sort of a combo deck that has no selection and no like card advantage.
Yeah.
So you get these spots where you're just like waiting to draw your Arcslogger or whatever your big finish is, and in the absence of that, you're just drawing like more rituals and Grey Ogres basically.
That was one of the things I liked about.
Oh, there's an Arcslogger. All right, so now we got something.
Yeah. The Imperial Painter deck played main deck Red Elemental Blast. So you just play the Painter and then you can off anything you need to. But he doesn't have that luxury here.
So I think the first order of business is just KOing the Mother Runes, and
it's going to be rough for him to do. That is a Seething Song right there.
Yeah, Seething Song. You just drew Arcslogger.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, we were trying to figure out what that card was. I'm pretty sure it's a Seething Song at this point. I'm still stuck on that. I don't know. I don't even know what you guys are worried about.
Hold up. Can he cast that under the Trinisphere?
Yeah, he's got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Nope. Doesn't want to do that.
All right, so he's songing up to 5 mana. Songing up to 7,
yeah.
I guess. Eight mana. Arcslogger. So I assume he's going to shoot the Mother of Runes, shoot it again when he tries to save it, and then shoot Kasali Pride Mage.
He might just try to copy it, right? With the Metamorph? He's got 3 floating, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like...
Yeah.
I guess he can't... Yeah, I guess he doesn't have... I don't know. I think it seems like to me like this turn when you don't have to worry about Source of Plowshares is like this is the turn you should probably just be because like he can sack the Pride Mage to kill the Metamorph, right? Is it still an artifact?
I believe so.
Right. So if Nathan has Source of Plowshares in his hand, it's just like you lose both your guys and now you have nothing. Like I feel like you have to take your shot you get to kill the Noble Hierarch, which cuts him off with white mana.
Right. Yeah.
So then your Arcslogger is just safe.
Yeah,
the Knights can't attack through it.
Your play is probably a safer play, but I think what's going through his mind right now is like these guys are bigger than the Knights, right? So he just kind of wants to stop his clock and pray.
Oh no!
He's got another Noble Hierarch for 3 mana. Still a fair card right now. Tapping that Magus furiously.
Yeah, I think there's a question about the interaction between City of Traders and...
They are mountains. They get to stay and play. A lot riding on this match for both players.
What's up?
So a lot's riding on this match for both players.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks like he drew a batter skull. Is that 2 life?
Yeah, it looks like at this point he's not going to be able to stop everything.
He's going to go on to the next game, maybe. And try to shoot some things down. Arc Slogger. Targeting. Being this far behind, it's really risky. He's just showing him more of his deck.
Yeah. I mean, he might get a chump block out of this turn, right?
Yeah.
Or not even chump block, right? Like if he kills the, I don't know how many cards are left in his deck if he top 40s or whatever, but he can in theory kill the 2, the Mother and the 2 Noble Hierarchs with the mana he has available.
Yeah.
And then one Knight of the Reliquary can't attack, and if both attack, then one dies and Magus gets to chump.
Yeah, and then it puts him at a pretty even board state.
Yeah.
He's checking out what's in his deck now.
Right. We don't really. I guess he probably has plenty of cards left in his deck if he top 40s because he's drawn 7 and we're on turn 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever, and he has no card drawing in the deck, so he would have plenty of time to kill from there.
Arc Slogger's putting in some work now.
Yep. He's just conceding.
Yeah.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't have showed him that many cards.
Yeah, especially the worst card he can possibly flip over there is the Pyrokinesis, because if that's, it's not exactly a commonly played legacy card. It shows up in Goblin sideboards from time to time.
Right.
But the fact that it's 0 mana and its impact sometimes is dramatic, it's I've definitely gotten blown out by it a bunch of times because it's just not a card that's on my radar all the time.
Yeah.
So that would be a bad one to show.
The Dragon Stompy draw wasn't even that amazing that go around. He had another Trinisphere sitting in hand, and
like basic forest into Noble Hierarch also just gives Nathan a lot of breathing room to be able to play his early game.
Right.
Like the Dragon Zombie deck is not very good at reacting to a developed board. His whole game plan is just shutting down your openings. Once even like Mother Runes gets in play, it's like, well, now Mother Runes is just in play for the whole game. Like that's where we're at now.
Ben's got a huge advantage being on the play this time, though. He just gets to try to force out a turn 1 Blood Moon effect, and Nathan is kind of forced to have his basic forest in his hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the turn 1 Blood Moon opening is just it's so much more powerful.
Yeah. And it's not that difficult to do. He's got a bunch of soul lands. He's got Chrome Moxes.
I mean, he might actually, basically his only way out of Magus of the Moon, he has Punching Fire to get out of, which he can do off his non-basics. But basically the only thing that he can do about turn 1 Blood Moon is naturally draw his 1 Forest, use that to cast Noble Hierarch, and then use those 2 cards to cast Pride Mage and get out that way, which is a pretty long ball draw.
Yeah. Or he can just use the...
Given that he has 2 Pride Mages and 1 basic Forest.
Right. The Hierarch also gives him access to the swords as well, which is pretty important, and the Pats if he brought him in.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a really, really bad situation for Nathan to be in if he gets the turn 1 Blood Moon. They look like they're smiling, not too nervous.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I'm on the like I've top 8'd a bunch of these kind of tournaments, and it's like even still, like your 4th or 5th time in the play-in round, game 3 is like you're just know.
I always get really nervous on feature matches. I don't know. I focus a lot more on what's going on around me than the actual game, and that's something you just can't do. It's so hard. It doesn't look like either one of these players sideboarded again.
Yeah, I mean their sideboarding cards don't seem like they're really much predicated on being on the play or on the draw. It's just
very true.
They have a couple upgrades here and there, and so I could see an argument for for Nathan here to bring in his Singleton Aethersworn candidates. Obviously, not very exciting to go tutor for. You don't want it as part of the tutor package. But as a one-of that you can just naturally draw sometimes, it is nice to, it basically prevents any of the ritual openings.
Right.
Like, so ritual in the Arc Slogger is no longer a play, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
it's
a pretty good point.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth bringing in, but I wouldn't fault him for doing
Right.
so.
But his main deck is actually pretty lean. I mean, it's just he has his curve of guys. I mean, I guess he wants to cut even Mind Sensor for sure, because that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he's got 2 of those that he needed to get rid of, which probably came out for the paths. Other than that, he's got like a nice tutor package for Screen Suns, 1 Birds, 1 Scry Ranger, Getic Teague. Getic Teague, does he do anything?
Getic Teague?
Not really.
Christopher Atashian and Ryan Coyle, excuse me.
No.
Getic Teague does not, it's Batter Skull.
Yeah.
So, no, not really.
Yeah, not too exciting.
Right.
Mother of Rune's obviously a pretty decent card.
Alright, so turn 1, Ancient Tomb, Umazawa's Jit. Misty, I'm assuming he's going to get the basic
Blood Moon. Yeah.
basic forest
Gotta
if he
get a
can.
basic. He's digging for it too.
Yeah.
All
right.
There's the basic. He's got the turn 2.
So Nathan can
Blood
breathe.
Moon.
Yeah, Nathan can breathe a little easier here. Nathan could not wait to get that Misty Rainforest in the graveyard and find it. And there's the Hierarch, so he's got his.
He got the draw he needed.
Yep.
Being on the draw in Nathan's spot, he's just in there. Please don't Blood Moon.
Yeah.
Please don't Blood Moon.
All right,
Magus.
so there's Magus. So this is still quite threatening because we can just get a Jit on a Grey Ogre, and that can also be game. So
yeah. I can't really see his hand and see he's got the sword or the path to deal with it.
And the rest of Ben's hand does not appear to be very good. He has 2 more 2-mana lands, a Blood Moon, and I can't see what the 4th card is, but there's a bird.
Oh. Dies an equally as awful.
He has
death
a
to
plow in
GT.
his hand. He just flashes the front.
Oh, did he? Okay, good.
Oh, but oh wow.
Oh, he's got a fallout. Uh-oh. Get out of here, Magus. Ben's going to gain some life, and Nathan's in a much better position at this point.
Yep. Although Ben just drew Volcanic Fallout, so
He can't cast it now that Magus is gone.
yeah, he needs a red source to be able to cast it. But
Did you see his hand? Does he have another red source?
I don't believe so. I think he has another 2-mana land, the Blood Moon, the Fallout, and then a card that I cannot see.
City and the Magus.
Another Magus. Another Magus.
Another Magus, if it connects with the GT, is still really bad for
Yeah,
Nathan.
I mean, yeah, just one shot and
Smoke half your board.
right. So Nathan's got a Wasteland in his hand. I think he's debating on possibly popping on a Tomb. Yeah, he's... Oh, no.
Stony Silence. And followed by a Mother.
So Stony Silence here will shut off the... and that is not a red source of mana. Yeah, so he wants to play Blood Moon here instead of Magus of the Moon because he wants to fall out the board the next turn.
Yeah.
Although Mother of Runes is making that a lot more challenging. Nathan looks like he's flooding out pretty badly, though.
I mean, yeah. It's going to be an interesting game to see how this plays out. It's really whoever draws more gas at this point, right?
Yeah.
Checks the board.
Yeah.
Ajite's in defense position.
Star City Lacy players, if you believe you're on the top 8, please bring your deck over
Got
to
a
the
green
All right, looks like a Zenith for 3. I'm assuming to go find another reliquary.
Nathan is the California States champion for 2011.
Did not know.
No, he
I thought there were multiple state championships for California, like there was a northern one and a southern one or something like that.
I was under the impression that they rotated it between, like, one year it'd be Northern California and the other year it'd be in Southern
I think they used to do that back in the day.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I think-
you'd know better than I would. You're from
I don't
the
know.
state.
I mean, I'm not a state's competitor, so.
Oh, okay.
So we actually went and got
Got it.
Tarmogoyf instead of Knight of the Reliquary.
Noble Hire comes in for the beatdown, it looks like.
And then, yeah, they're confirming that the Goyf is a 3/4.
Another Magus.
So yeah, basically now Ben has to decide between playing out Magus and getting the Jit on it and trying to go down that road.
He can't, can he?
Not this turn. Oh, sorry, with the Stony Silence. Never
Yeah.
mind. So that angle shut off. So
Yeah.
he basically has to fall out, but it's impossible for him to fall out that profitably right now.
Yeah.
Mother Runes is shutting that off, and the Goyf survives it anyway, so.
Nathan's got a really good position right now. And like you said, once Nathan's board develops just a little bit, Ben
Yeah.
has such a hard time
Right.
catching up.
He has a couple big draws, like he has like a Batter Skull, and he has, Arc Slogger. He has a couple big draws, but by and large, he is just not suited to fight someone else's board.
Dragon Stompy players just thinking. Volcanic Fallout.
All right, so we're gonna go for the Fallout here.
He gets to save a Goyf and a Mom, it looks like. Well, the Goyf lives
Yeah, he
through,
basically gets to decide between keeping a white source of mana or his Mother of Runes. Those are
Yeah.
his two options here.
What would you keep? I'd probably keep the Mom.
Well, the issue is just like what gives you the best chance of beating Arc Slogger. Like if you have Plow in your hand, then you need to prioritize your white mana, and if you
That's
don't,
very
then you
true.
need to probably keep Mother of Runes because Mother of Runes is at the minimum gives you another turn to punch through. All right, he's gonna keep his white mana.
Yeah. And
It looks
also
like-
making the Goyf
Yeah, it
bigger.
also makes the Goyf bigger, so it's now a 4/5 instead of a 3/4 effectively when it's attacking. So.
He's got two Maguses in his hand. Draw.
But
Is it
Nathan's hands is
Savannah
just
Maze?
lands.
Yeah.
So
He's got to win with what he's got. And the Goyf comes in.
looks like we're getting in for
Oh,
4.
and then untaps, and then probably attacks again in a minute.
Okay, yeah.
There we
Ben
go.
didn't actually have a graveyard until that turn, so it's confusing whether or not that Magus was actually in his graveyard or RFG'd, but it had been plowed, so. So yeah, now his hand is just
Double Magus.
double Magus and a Chromox.
Tarmogoyf's probably going to go the distance on this one. We'll see.
I don't know, Arc Slogger and shoot the Noble Hierarch, and then Nathan's just locked.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, not locked. He still has Zenith to go get some guys or whatever, but he's in a ton of trouble.
Arc Slogger is really hard for Nathan to deal with. It's very true. But he's not drawing. He's just...
Even still, like, the Goyf is just a 3/4 right now. It's instant land creature. So actually just 2 Grey Ogres, or the 3rd Grey Ogre rather, to because the Goyf is attacking for 4. And then the Goyf actually can't attack anymore if Nathan doesn't have a path or a plow. Like, Nathan's just floating out here, so.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got something.
He's got a
Pride Mage.
That's good.
But even still, even with that Pride Mage, next turn, I'm not a huge fan of that chump block.
Yeah.
Because he actually would have been able to go,
He's got the double Exalted Trigger. So
Right, but it's still not lethal. And then next turn, like the Goyf becomes a 5/6 when it attacks.
right.
So if Ben has 3 Grey Ogres in play, assuming he doesn't have Plow or Path, then actually the Goyf can't attack anymore.
Yep. I can't see Nathan's graveyard. Are we sure that goes to 5/6? He's got.
It's instant land creature, right? Nothing else was cast to mine. There's like a fetch land and a.
Yeah. And Goyf's just chewing away at his creatures.
But even still, like
He can still draw an
Argus Logger still gives him some game if he doesn't have Plow or Path.
Yeah.
So there's another Mother Rune, so it's got to be like this turn, basically.
And drum roll.
No, that's Rakdos Pit Dragon. Yeah, unfortunately, he's just able to go give the Goyf Pro Red and.
Got to read the Pit Dragon too.
So it looks like Ben is done for.
Yep. Just thinking. It's been a pretty good match so far, at least.
Yep.
That's one thing you always like to see.
Right.
Another land for Nathan.
So I think what you want to do, you want to attack first with your Tarmogoyf, get the Exalted triggers to resolve, and then before blocks give it Pro Red, so that way Pyrokinesis can't kill it.
Right, yeah. Everything goes according to plan anyways. No such luck for Ben.
We actually still have Arcslogger as an out.
What do we got? We got
A Metamorph. Huh? Metamorph
not awful.
does not do
amazing.
anything.
No.
Because of the Pride Mage.
I'm trying to feel a little bit more helpful. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Yeah. Ben knows he's in trouble.
Reggie Holland, can you please come up to the stage? Reggie Holland.
Just thinking.
And there's the concession.
That's what we're waiting on. Nathan will continue on to the top 8.
Yep. So Nathan Calvin wins 2 games to 1.
Yeah, he's excited. Look at him.
Yep.
I would be too. Getting the customary head pat.
Yep.
I think we're going to try to get another match on camera here.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can move one of the other feature matches over for the other round.
That was a good game. I feel like both players played pretty solid there. A few questionable plays.